Now, most of us can trace our family back by 3 or 4 generations, but one woman from Eastbourne can't even trace her family back by 1, and she's not alone. Viktoria Cowley works for Sussex Police. She's a tape summariser and can type more than 60 words a minute. But ask her to fill in any kind of document about herself and she struggles. Because the first 18 months of her life are a mystery. She doesn't know where or even when she was born. The only thing about her early childhood she can be certain of is what she reads in the papers.
Oh God, that's me. That is me.
In 1975, at the end of the Vietnam War, hundreds of orphans were evacuated from Saigon. Vicky was one of 99 babies airlifted to Britain. The flight was arranged by a tabloid newspaper, the immigrant's best friend, the Daily Mail.
That's me.
Midnight at Heathrow Airport. The children tired and bewildered by the long flight and the reception party.
Until recently, Vicky had blocked out her beginnings in Vietnam. Now, at what she thinks is 36 years of age, she's decided to fill that empty first chapter of the story of her life.
I've set myself a bit of a challenge in that 99 children came over on that airlift to the UK, and I'd love to be able to just get in contact with them, share their story, just find out how much they know about themselves, about the airlift, and I'd like to be able to contact as many as I possibly can. The Babylift was an emergency evacuation. It was the end of the Vietnam War, just as Saigon was falling. There was pandemonium and chaos. There was threat of mass slaughter of all these babies that were being abandoned.
Vicky was at an orphanage just outside Saigon, but at the time of the Babylift, she'd already been chosen for adoption by a British couple, Douglas and Jennifer Cowley.
Daddy was very much against it in the beginning, but then he realised that perhaps he was being a bit selfish, and he said, "Okay, let's go for it."
That's the first picture of me and my father together.
Yeah, that's right.
And that's the last picture of me and my father together.
Yes. Daddy looks not at all well there, does he?
Douglas worked in Vietnam for British American Tobacco. He went to the orphanage and chose Vicky. And with the North Vietnamese troops moving in, the Daily Mail flight came at just the right time to get Vicky out.
So you never actually saw me before I came to England?
No, because I wasn't out there. Unfortunately, I wish I had been, but I wasn't. And you came over on the Daily Mail flight. We went to see you in Surrey. And that's when I found my little girl.
That's the first time you saw me?
Yeah. Yes.
After a brief stay with the other 98 Babylift orphans at a house in Hazelmere, Vicky eventually completed her journey from Saigon to Seaford. She was formally adopted on the 6th of January 1976, and that's the day she celebrates her birthday. More than 3 decades later, Vicky is ready to delve into her past. But the one person who could have answered many of her questions is no longer around. Douglas Cowley died in 1998.
I kick myself now for not asking the questions when my father was still here. He knew the conditions, he knew what the orphanage was like, he'd be able to tell me exactly where it was, he'd be able to probably tell me the names of the nuns that were in the orphanage, he'd be able to tell me so much about myself that no other adoptee knows about themselves.
There are more than 2,500 Babylift adoptees scattered around the world. Vicky believes they can all benefit from sharing whatever they can remember of what happened.
Most of my free time, I'm never off my computer. I'm always doing something. I'm always writing an email to someone, or I'm arranging something.
Vicky has received a letter from a woman in America called Megan. It turns out they were both abandoned at the same orphanage at roughly the same time.
My sister. Kindred or not, you are a blessing to me in so many ways. I will never forget the day I got your Facebook message. It changed my life in that perspective forever.
Closer to home, Vicky makes contact with a man called Lathan, who has some news about the photo from the Daily Mail front page.
I have the same photo from a newspaper cutting in my scrapbook with an arrow pointing to the baby on the left saying, "It's me." Oh my God.
Hello.
It's been a busy few months for Vicky. Already she's met 6 orphans face to face, but she wants to meet more. So she's arranged a reunion in London with the help of the other baby in the photo, Lathan.
We were on the Airlfift. There's myself there, and there's you. And this was taken on the plane that we came over.
It's
just
so
one of those
cute.
things.
Look at you.
Yeah.
Sucking your fingers.
I know, but that's the other thing, because I mean, a lot of people say to me, how do you know that's you? And the only reason, because the quality of the picture, you can see the scar on my nose, and apparently that's how I used when I used to sleep. I used to sleep like that, and put my fingers out. So that's how I know it's me.
You got to suck your fingers.
Do I? As a 35-year-old.
Of the adoptees that I've met so far, I am the only one who hasn't been to Vietnam. And they have done, they've done all of that. They've tried to find out about their orphanage. They've tried to find out a little bit about the culture, the country, and all. And I just feel as if I'm a step behind everybody.
But Vicky is finding out that she has something in common with every adoptee she meets. And at last she's met 2 yet. Another Babylift orphan who's never been back to Vietnam.
Do you feel like you have to explain yourself from where you came from to total strangers?
I do feel badgered into it, but it depends on how I feel at that time and why they want to know. And sometimes I just tell them I'm from Eastbourne.
Yeah, well, I say that I'm from Barnsley, but I don't get away with it.
It may have taken a while, but Vicky finally feels ready to catch a return flight to Vietnam.
I've never really had any inclination to go back to Vietnam before now. I think I was in a sort of identity crisis. I've never really completely opened up to who I am for various reasons throughout my life. But now I want to find out what really happened. I want to find out what made me me.
In a way, I'm quite prepared for anything. The fact that I wasn't loved, the fact that I wasn't wanted, doesn't matter, because, you know, when I was adopted, I was wanted and I was loved.
When she set out to make contact with others from the Babylift, all Vicky really had was a list of names. Now some of those names have become friends. Between them, they're building up a picture of their pasts. But there are many pieces missing, and many more passengers from that flight Vicky is determined to meet again.
It's almost like a pane of glass, really. That pane of glass is the Babylift, and as a result of touching down in the UK, that pane of glass has actually been dropped and shattered, and I'm trying to get hold of all those shards of glass to make it one again.
And we'll be following Vicky's journey back to Vietnam early next year.
Now,
Now, if you want any more information on tonight's show, you can visit our local website. And you can even watch the whole show again by clicking on our iPlayer at bbc.co.uk/insideout. And if you were on that Daily Mail Babylift flight back in 1975, we'd love to hear from you. You can email us via our Inside Out website. Coming up next week. Can a failing nursing home be transformed? Or will it have to close?
The things that I've seen today, I couldn't increase your rating.
That's all for tonight from Dover Castle. Thanks for watching and see you next week.